returns from what turned out to be a futile pursuit of the Mind Flayer,
Yeah.
maybe? Whatever the thing was that you think opened the portal and is responsible for everyone now being wherever they are.
Oh Christ, that happened. You're right.
Yeah, there's that. So, after attempting and failing to find this illithid and eventually making your way back to the general area where you had emerged from the portal, you see a burned up, black stained battlefield with a low hanging blackish gray mist just hovering over the hills, and a number of bodies lying about, as well as signs that some other pretty big nasty stuff has been around. Making your way to what looks to be kind of the single bastion of civilization around, you do find a camp that is occupied by the winning side, apparently. The group with which your fellow adventurers had kind of allied themselves. And so here you are at this war camp, a few campfires visible, kind of dotting the pretty sizable camp. And, I would imagine it's probably not too hard to find the strange adventurers who just turned up out of nowhere. So, I guess we can pick up with either Lilith or the rest of the group. Let's go rest of the group.
What am I doing?
I don't know. What are you doing?
I am drinking and partying and just having some fun. I believe that's
So
what
it is quite easy to find Togar.
Yeah, I remember I was talking to historians about this place and stuff.
Yeah.
I would like to find the cook's tent.
Okay.
I can't do my voice today, by the way. I'm like hella sick.
All right.
Or Bungdo lost his voice.
You sound like you're
yelling too much in battle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Just produce flame!
How much war cries? Most terrifying thing any being could ever hear.
That's no much war cry.
Once you hear it, you know that all hope is lost.
So, Bungdo finds the cook. And he does what?
Murders him.
What?
I'm just kidding. I ask him if he has any spare spices.
You spice?
Oh, okay.
You spice?
Indeed. It'll take a while for that trend to set in, but eventually it could be a thing. All right. So, you kind of follow your nose and locate a mess tent of sorts, and upon kind of letting yourself in, you see a pretty exhausted-looking half-orc male, kind of slaving away over a number of different pots and things that are just hanging over a series of fires that are kind of set up within the confines of the tent. And, he kind of looks up at you and says, well, what do you need?
Well, oh fuck, no, I can't.
That's fine.
Well, I come from another dimension, and I was hoping that you had some spices here that I may not have back home.
I think you need to go to the infirmary.
I give him a stink eye. Well, I know you're a half-orc and you're not generally known for brains, so I'll forgive you this time for your petty insolence, but where I come from, a comment like that would have your head cut off. And then I walk
Speaking
out.
of heads, is yours? And he kind of just like, gestures towards it. Is it all right?
It's quite fine.
If you say so.
Well, it's not my fault. I came in here looking for a simple spice trade, and you happen to insult my... It's in my head.
He just shakes his head and goes back to preparing food.
Is there a table with nothing on it near me?
Sure.
I flip it. As I walk out.
Asshole!
I kind of want to see a strength check for that, because he's a no.
Green-skinned
Greenskin what?
half-wit.
Alright. He seems a little too busy to follow up with anything, but yeah, you head out of the tent. Is there anything else you'd like to do in the evening as you're kind of winding down?
Well, now that I don't have any fucking spices, no.
Alright.
So is that the place where you get the food? Or is it just where he's cooking it?
It is essentially both.
Okay. Well, I guess at some point during my drunk stupor, I'm going to wander on over there, too.
Alright.
So, curious. This land, is it basically the same as far as, like, species go? And animals?
From what you've seen, yeah, you haven't seen anything that really falls outside what you're used to in the two continents that you've been to, at the very least.
Alright.
Alright, so as a drunken Togar stumbles into the mess tent, what's he doing?
I'm going to walk in and... what do I see? Do I see any, like, prepared dishes just sitting there?
So from the way you would walk in, you would probably see about a dozen or so kind of medium-sized wooden tables with crudely carved stools set up all around them. Maybe 2 of them are occupied. It's getting pretty late, and well, folks are tired after winning a war. So it's largely empty, and at the far end of the tent, you can see what looks like at first glance, it looks like one massive fire, but upon closer inspection, you can see that there are a number of pits that are kind of set up all at that one end, and you see a portly half-orc individual kind of hurriedly rushing from pot to pot, trying to prepare something.
Is he, like...
Smells interesting, to say the least.
Is he, like, more orcish looking, or is he, like, kind of orcish and, like...
Notably orcish looking. He's got 2, like, protruding lower tusks.
Gotcha. Okay. I guess I'll walk in and sit down at the table as close to where he is as I can. And I'll just kind of stare at him for a few minutes drunkly. To see if he, makes any acknowledgement of me being there. And if he doesn't, then I'm going to stand up and say, hey!
Alright, as you do that, just, what?
What do I have to do to get some food around here?
Dude, this orc is just not having a good day.
Maybe ask for some.
Well, I did.
He just gives you this look like, I am fed up with your shit. I'm fed up with people's shit.
At this point, as I'm talking to him, I summoned Mage Hand, picked up a bowl with it, and have dipped it in whatever the fuck he's cooking, and am now carrying it over to myself. While I'm talking to him.
All right. He does not seem to have noticed this.
I'll put it in my hand. I'll say, now, this guy knows how to serve somebody. And I'll point to my mage hand. I'll grab my bowl and walk back. And set it down, sit down, take a single bite. Just, is it like a soup or a stew?
Yeah, it's like a thick, some kind of meat stew.
Okay.
It's not great, but it's food.
I'll take one sip and go, you got any spices? This is a little bland for my taste.
People and their fucking spices. He
Oh,
he heads over to a corner, and you see him like kind of rummaging through like a small wooden chest.
okay.
And he just kind of yells back, "What do you want?"
What do you got?
Am I like close enough to hear this?
I'm not making myself quiet at all, so probably.
Bungdo bursts back in. Well, why don't you give me any spices? He's being more of a dick than I am.
I turn around and stumble into the table that I just set my shit on and knock the table over, fall over. And I'll just kind of lift my head up. Bungdo, is that you?
Well, damn bloody right it is. After some spices.
Come
This
help
sounds
me. And I'm just like laying there in the table, just kind of drunkenly. I mean, you've seen it. You've seen people do it.
Having calmed down, I flip the table back upside right.
It's set up. Cool. Well, are you going to
Table
help
that
me
I
out
flipped.
first?
No?
Oh. Well, how did you flip a table with me in it?
What's Jesus Christ, it was before you got there.
Oh. Oh, that one. Okay. I thought you were flipping the one. I just crashed into my own table and flipped it. And like
Everybody flips tables.
Is this outside or is it in the building?
It's in a large tent.
I want to come in, checking out what the commotion is.
All right, hearing a couple tables get flipped over, I'd say that's not out of the question.
This fucking orc.
I'm gonna roll my own perception check just to see if I. Nah, I don't notice Trogdor.
Okay, so Trogdor, you walk in and see a sloppy drunk Togar sprawled across one tipped over table. You see Bungdo just kind of writing another one, and this portly half-orc guy standing in the far corner with this little wooden chest just kind of open. He's just kind of giving the other two a look of like, really? What the hell is wrong with you guys?
Would being drunk count as a disease or a poison affecting someone?
You don't know.
Technically speaking, I would say it would qualify as a poison.
Alright, gonna go up to Togar, and usually have hands cure his drunkenness.
Oh, Trogdor, help me out of here! I've fallen and Bundo's being an asshole and whoa.
Where am I?
Where? Yeah, look around. Where am I? Holy shit! I look down. All right, which asshole threw me into this table? I get up off the table and start looking around.
Bungdo points at the half orc. It was him.
You bastard! Why? As I'm drawing a dagger.
He stole your spices.
I want
He's got this look of just utter confusion on his face as he's like looking back and forth between Togar and Bungo, and then looking at the Dragonborn that just walked in like, what did you, what? Okay.
I look at Trogdor. What's going on?
I put my hand on your shoulder and I just say, "You were drunk."
Yes, that's usual. Okay.
I'm
How did I
assuming
wind
you-
up on this table?
I'm assuming you caused such an accident by being too drunk.
Yeah, maybe. I guess I could see that. I look at Bungdo. Then why are you saying he stole my spices? I don't even own spices. I don't even know how to cook.
Because he's an asshole.
I'm not.
I
asking
look
you to
back
give me
at York.
spices.
You know what? Give me a minute. I'll work something out with you. I look back at Bungdo. Why are you being such an asshole, Bungdo?
He wouldn't give me spices.
Did you ask?
Yes. He insulted
I give
my
him
intelligence.
the. Did you really, Bungdo? Like what a parent gives to a kid. That kind of a look. Like, did you really?
I give him the stink eye and kind of like huff, and then I say, I promise that I asked him for spices, and I told him I was from another dimension, explained why I wanted them, and he insulted my intelligence.
And he
I'm
still
about to
hasn't been to the infirmary tent. He should be there.
Because there's
He
nothing
needs
bloody wrong
help.
with me.
I'm about to insult your intelligence too. Bungdo, you're an idiot. Nobody would believe that story. I turn around and look at the orc and say, it's all true, but regardless of the fact, can we buy some spice off you?
I said nothing about buying. I want to trade spices. They might have different spices here.
I look back to the orc. Can we trade some spices with you?
And then Bungdo pulls out a leather rolled up thingy with spices in it.
At this point, I'll
I'm
flip the
picturing like a
table
little
back up.
bandolier full of spices.
That's literally what it is. That's what it is. Rolled up. It's a rolled up bandolier of spices.
Alright. He kind of just looks at the two of you and... Fine. He brings his little wooden chest over and you proceed to discuss spices and yeah, you're each able to maybe pick up another 2 or 3 spices that you didn't have in your collection. Not anything from your standpoint that would be otherworldly or anything, but you know, you're
Bungdo
able
looks
to.
kind of sad about it.
Can I sleight of hand and try to snag one of the vials from the bandolier from Bungdo?
What?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna use Mage Hand, so is that still sleight of hand?
Yeah.
Would I roll perception?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck you.
All right.
So I bring it over to myself, pop the cork off, and sniff it. What do I smell? I sniff it just lightly. Then I'll just... If I don't smell
Make
it.
a Constitution saving throw.
Gotcha. Alright.
You sneeze everywhere.
Yep, just... Achoo! And I'll drop the vial, too, by accident. Because that's just how I do.
And so there is black pepper scattered all over the ground.
I cast Blight on Togar.
Can I evasion this?
Okay.
Is it Dex?
Oh, no, it's not. You're right. Constitution save. Nope. 42 damage.
All right, and suddenly, Togar, you don't feel so good.
Nope. I'm, like, near death. I just kind of... all my muscles just go... Pew, and I just fall over. Because... yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
So
look
that
to-
happened.
Almost dead, I'll look to the orc and say, he poisoned me, be careful! And I'll point at Bungdo.
All right. The orc, seeing this, kind of looks at Bungo, and Togar, and Trogdor, who's just kind of standing there, and takes off running for the nearest exit. Guards!
At this point, I grab Trogdor's and go, help me!
I do cure wounds, and healing word on him.
Also, Brown, if you've been trying to respond, I didn't hear you. I don't know what he did.
Oh. I was gonna lay on hands 30.
Alright. I still
Nothing
may need
happened.
a good chunk of that. I'm trying to do math.
I'll lay on hands whatever he needs left.
Okay.
Alright. I need 15.
Alright,
So,
Yeah, that-
back up to max again.
yeah, I give you 15.
Alright. That guy left his chest open, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I say, Bungdo, quick. What was it that I broke? Is it in here? Let's grab some and go.
I have no idea what it was. I think it was black pepper.
Yeah. So I'll just look in, grab, like, the nearest black-looking substance, and hand it to Bungdo and take off running out the door.
What?
Yep.
At this point, I'm probably done talking to the historian people, and I'm wandering around just kind of looking for my companions.
And so, as you're looking around the camp, suddenly you see Togar come running out of one of the mess tents.
I yell, Togar!
Huh? What? Yeah? Oh, hi, Maya.
Hi. Why are you running?
That crazy half-orc in there was cooking, and Bungdo caused a scene, and now we might have some guards coming after us. Bungdo might have some guards
caused a
coming after him. You know how Bungdo is.
Okay, well,
I'm just getting the hell out of Dodge.
was there a place where we decided to make camp, or... I don't remember from that long ago.
There were probably a few vacant, well, available bedrolls and tents and things. So, if you'd like, you can make camp with the rest of the army as they're preparing to ride back out west, or you could set up your own camp just outside or wherever you'd like.
I'll set up camp just outside.
Okay.
Just yell to Togar, well, I'm gonna go set up a camp over there. Point in a direction.
Well, here, I'll come help you. It's a good alibi. So
Alright.
I'll go walk over to her and just follow her.
Okay. So as Lilith is making her way back into camp, she sees two familiar figures making their way out toward the edge. The dwarf and the human from the party before.
Okay, I approach them. So what's been happening around here? Looks like there's a big battle.
I jump and draw my dagger. Oh!
Oh my god!
Oh, sorry. I'll just drop it and let it poof back to my belt. Sorry, you scared me. I had a rough night. Yeah. Maya? And I'll look at her and go, this is the same one, right?
Lilith looked pretty smug about scaring him, but then now she looks angry.
That's fine.
Yes.
Where did you go?
I was looking for the mind flare. I didn't find it.
Oh. Well, yeah. We fought a bunch of stuff, and... Well, I fought a bunch of stuff. Trogdor and Maya kind of ran around. I didn't really... All I saw was them running around back and forth, so... yeah. The evil, king...
Maya rolls her eyes heavily.
The evil king, Trist, Drasig, that was the guy who was commanding all the demons. Yeah. I hit him in the chest with my trusty old hand axe here, and then, Maya, who was it who killed him? Somebody else killed him. Was it Zan? The leader?
Yeah.
Yeah, she killed him. So, yeah, I think we're now going back to their capital, Amon or Imon or something like that. I don't know.
Amon.
I was already drunk. Oh, is it Imon?
Come on.
Amon. Ah, I was already drunk when she was talking. So,
Do either of you have plans for getting out of this realm?
yes. The
I
greatest
just
minds,
don't know it yet.
The greatest minds live there. I'm going to offer them this, and I pull out the gun drawing, and I'll say, I'm going to offer this in exchange for a way back.
The gun drawing, as in a drawing of a gun?
It is plans, like blueprints for how to make a gun.
So
Schematics.
you're a gunslinger?
No, I took a gun apart and wrote blueprints on it.
We met a gunslinger.
Wait, oh, literally?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, I take it then, and I look at it, just, what is this?
It's some sort of cannon? Handheld cannon? I don't know. It makes a loud bang, and whoever it hits just dies.
I Eldritch Blast a bush right next to us. Seems like I can already do that.
Huh. Yeah.
But
Okay.
I don't think it requires magic.
No, it's like if I can, I can do this, and I'll pull out my dagger and just whip it across the clearing into that same bush you just blasted. So yeah, I can hit a bush too, but this is like that, only a lot faster. It's like you point, pull the little triggering mechanism, and it's almost instant.
You've seen this used?
Yes. It's freaking cool.
Maya?
Yeah. He's right.
Alright.
I'm working on Trogdor's shield. I'm thinking about making something a little different, but similar, and fixing it to his shield.
You're gonna put a cannon on his shield?
He's a big guy, or lizard thing. Yeah. I don't see a problem here.
Well, where are you two headed off to right now?
We are making camp.
Alright, let's do it then.
I'll roll up the schematics and put them back in the bag.
Okay.
Actually, on second thought, I'm putting them in the bag of holding so that they don't get ruined.
All right.
The guy ever come back with the guards? Just like sitting in there.
Yeah. So after maybe a minute or two have passed, and Togar went running out.
Bungdo just kind of takes his seat on the bench inside, by the way.
What?
Bungdo didn't leave. He's just kind of chilling there.
Okay. Yeah. So within a minute or two, a pair of guards come running in, followed closely by the cook, and they just kind of look around the now Togar-less tent at the very least, and just kind of come briskly walking up to the two of you who are still there, and kind of turn back to the half-orc and say, "Which one's the troublemaker?" He looks at the two of you and goes, "Where'd the other one go?"
Well, he ran off. I'm not quite sure where. He was bothering us, and then he went to get some people, and then he ran off. Guilty if ever I saw.
Kind of looks around, making sure he's not being snuck up on or something. Kind of looks back to you. Looks back to you, Bungo, and says, "You really should get your head checked out, but I'm sorry
very
about
well.
before."
It's quite all right. Do you cook often?
Every day, unfortunately.
Well, should you need help, I would love to assist. I'm trying to learn some new recipes. I'm a chef myself, you see.
Oh. Well, I'll keep that in mind. Your name again?
Bungno Fair Tinker at your service.
And he kind of walks up and kind of has to squat a little bit to reach down a hand and say, Drazar.
Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, and he does, shake your hand and everything. It's kind of like, holding a kid's hand. But yeah, all right. And with the nod, he kind of turns and realizes that one of his pots is beginning to boil over, and hurriedly darts back that way, kind of leaving you to your business. And the guards kind of follow him back over, and after a brief conversation that you can kind of make out, he gives Togar's description. And yeah, the two guards head out.
Let it be known, I am keeping my eye out for any guard-looking
You're
people.
cutting out.
Oh.
Yeah, you're cutting out.
Okay, how's this? Better?
So
Yeah.
far?
Let it be known that around this time, I am keeping my eye out for any guard-looking people, and if any of them come anywhere near me, I am going to cast Disguise Self on myself. And I'm going to become the female Togar.
Okay.
Assume that same
Togara.
appearance.
Naked and everything?
What was that? No, not naked, but just that same appearance of female dwarf.
Okay. Duly noted.
I would like to approach the half-orc and ask him how much it would cost to pay for the damages.
He kind of leans over, looks at the table and everything, says, "Don't worry about it. I've seen worse."
I pull out 4 platinum and give it to him.
Jesus.
He looks at you incredulously, like, are you sure?
Yeah. Seem like you're very hardworking and have enough stresses on your plate.
Plus, you had to deal with me. And I chuckle.
He kind of like, quick raise of the eyebrows, like, okay, and, tucks the coins into one of his pockets. And just he's still like kind of eyeing the pot out of one corner, but says, "Thank you, stranger."
Anytime.
I wonder what the currency exchange rate is over here.
I think it's the same.
You hear a disembodied Togar's voice.
Well, no, I'm just saying because when Trogdor looted, it was the same, wasn't it? Like it
Not
was,
for the. Well, you can't tell the exchange rate from the coins.
No, but I mean it was the same type, right?
I mean, there were different faces on the coins, but
Oh, okay. But they're made out of the same thing, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna leave the tent and go look for the rest of the group.
Okay. No, it's not hard to find them.
What?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Indeed.
Okay. Yeah, it's not hard to find them as you kind of scan the edge of the camp and eventually find your group's makeshift campsite for the night. So, yeah, you find, well, everyone there but Bungdo, unless Bungdo would like to accompany Trogdor back.
Bungdo's walking around right now.
Okay.
As I'm walking out to them, I'm gonna pull out some money, evenly divide it, and They friends that come bearing gifts, and I'm going to give each one of them 50 platinum.
He gives who?
How much?
Whoever's in the campsite, I'm going to give 50 platinum.
Oh, god damn it.
Damn. Okay.
I'll give you yours later.
Including Lilith?
Yep.
Eee.
Nah, you don't have to, dude. It's fun.
So it's the 3. Everyone's here except Bungdo at the moment.
Yep.
Alright.
I'll say, damn. Well, I'll put some of this into the shield. Which
There's
reminds
some-
me, did you happen to see a smithy around here, Trogdor?
Not yet that I'm aware of.
Oh, and how did that go in the tent?
Everything's fine, but I think the guards are looking for you.
Oh. Snap my fingers and disguise self myself. I am female Togar. Well, they won't find me.
I don't think you're in any danger, but probably just gonna ask questions.
Just tell him you saw him running off out the... Tell him you saw him running towards the mansion. Or wherever that cave. Whatever the hell the guy, rich dude, was staying in. Anyway, where's Bungdo?
Last I saw him, he was near the tent,
Oh,
or in the tent.
we were just setting up camp, and I was telling Lilith about how you and Maya were just running around all fight while I was throwing daggers at things.
Bungdo's walking around still.
Okay.
I assume there's not like any like shops or anything, right? Because this is like a military encampment.
Yeah, not like a traditional shop. Really.
Okay. I look for like the commander's tent.
Okay. So you
Actually,
do
what
see
time is it?
it's getting pretty late.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably 1, maybe 2 in the morning at this point. Yeah, so you'd like to go and find the commander's tent?
Yep.
Or okay. So, yeah, you do eventually find one that's adorned with what you can see are similar colors to what the elven army that made up part of your forces, what they had been wearing. And inside, you do see, kind of through a part in the entry flaps of the tent, you can see the female warrior that seemed to lead the forces conversing with a pair of elves, kind of seated at a table, just quietly discussing, I don't know, some serious business by the looks of things.
Does it look like anyone's in command?
Not.
Or can I not see them yet?
I mean, okay, so looking from where you are, you can see the one that you saw kind of leading the army. But it's not like anyone is giving orders to anyone else. It seems like it's just sort of a conversation that's happening.
Alright. I don't remember. I did, but I was a rhino.
Oh.
But I did turn back into Bungdo for
Yeah.
that, and then back into the rhino. So yes, I did.
But even as a rhino, I think you keep your mental state, so you could still
Yeah.
recognize her.
Well, what I'm saying is that they wouldn't recognize me.
Oh.
But since I was Bungdo, it's likely that they would. I walk up to the group and wait for them to stop talking.
All right. So as you let yourself into the tent, immediately everyone kind of, snaps their heads over to kind of look at you and react to whatever's walking into the tent at 1:30 in the morning. And the female warrior that you had seen leading the forces, the first one to kind of engage, and she just says, yes, you're one of the strangers from... Where are you from again?
What's our kingdom called? Valkyria?
Ashton?
Yes.
Or Ashton?
So just to clarify, the world is Astian. The continent is Akiria. The kingdom is Akarant.
I repeat all that to her.
All right.
And well, we came here through a portal in an Illithid cave, and we're not quite sure where we are, or what we are. All we seem to know is who we are. Now I was hoping you guys would have more information on that.
She's clearly kind of perplexed by this. Like, it's not what I was expecting to hear. But all right. So she kind of, after processing that, she just says, "Well, you are in a kingdom, or well, what was once a kingdom,
What
known
was
as well, it was called the Kingdom of Drassig, but for obvious reasons, that's no longer the case.
Should name it Kingdom of Bungdo now.
I think we've had enough kings, but
Well, fiefdom then.
the elven folks call this Gwessar, but I believe there are discussions upon what we could call this realm moving forward, and sort of unite our peoples under one banner and one name. Though, I must say, at the time, we don't really know who we are, to be exact, so I suppose that's something we have at least partially in common.
Well, well, do you happen to know what year it is?
Things have kind of fallen out of such formal structures over these last few decades.
What the bloody hell happened?
Well, upon the eruption of the war, what many gather to be about 32 years ago now, well, the societies of elves and humans for a long time were at each other's throats before a number of the humans rose up and began the arduous process of overthrowing the family of tyrants that had ruled them for so long. After all these years, all these decades, all these kings who had nothing in mind but the lining of their own pockets and oppression of the people at their or for their own gain, well, things just haven't been together enough to keep track of such things.
Indeed. Well, we'd still like to get back home, but I suppose we can help you while we're here. I
Well,
suppose you're in charge then.
so it would seem. The elves and the humans have, well, sort of united behind me. I don't claim to be any great general or leader or anything of that sort, but
Well, you don't need to claim anything. I'm simply knowing you're in charge. And if people put your faith in you, it's probably for good reason. How do you do? I'm Bungdo Fairtinker, gnome of the Eastern Lands, And Pyromancer of the Third Corps. Gnomish Corps, sorry.
She stands up from her seat, walks over, and offers her hand, and just says,
In marriage?
"Totally." And just says, "And I am Zan Teldore. Well, human of wherever this place is that we are now." So, what brings you here at 1:30 or so? So late in the evening.
I was simply hoping to find more information about where and when we are. Considering we went through a portal, quite foolishly. All of my friends went, and so I suppose I had to go too. Nothing like a cliff, you see. Cliff, it's almost certain death. Portals, hit or miss.
Well, I can certainly think of a few more pleasant places to emerge than squarely in the middle of a battlefield, but
Well, it's better than flat, rocky ground at the bottom of a 100-foot drop. So, I can't complain.
it would seem you and your party have handled yourselves all right. Or so. Oh.
You haven't gotten the daily report yet, have you?
She gives you kind of a worried look and casts a quick gaze over to one of the elves seated back at the table. Like, what?
Oh, don't worry, just some harmless shenanigans. Well, it seems it must be late then. I'll let you guys get back to your stuff. I would hope we can meet in the future on this, though, as I would love to be able to help you help me. We'll help you overthrow whatever ghastly ghouls you have to fight, and you, in turn, could help us get home.
Well, I would hope that the conflict is all but over at this point. The last of the Drossig line being, well, no more.
Well, how do you know it's the last?
I suppose that's a fair question. But anyone who's made any claim to be of the Drossig line has, well, certainly made themselves known. And it would seem that we are at last free.
Well, that's wonderful to hear, then. I suppose that's all I was really hoping to find out tonight. Goodbye. And Bungno just kind of walks back to the tent.
Alright. And, yeah, so everyone back at the camp, as you're all set up and whatnot. Is there anything you'd like to do before heading off to bed for the evening?
I pass out a couple of starfruit to everyone.
Of course.
When Bungdo walks into camp, I want to say, "Oh, I want to talk to Bungdo."
Okay.
Just say, "Hey, Bungdo, you weren't followed, were you?"
Probably not. Wasn't really paying attention.
Oh, where'd you go? You didn't
Went to
rat
the
me out,
command
did
tent.
you?
Well, of course I did.
I draw my kunai. I would like to do.
I can cast Blight tomorrow.
I want to insight check him. Am I good to do that?
Fucking do it, mate. I suppose I should do deception then.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So he ratted me out.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
Well, no matter. I have a new look for a little while then. And if
Bungdo really just wants him to be a female for a bit.
They won't do anything to me anyway. But it took you that long to go rat me out?
No, I said I went to the commander's tent.
Oh, okay. What did she... Huh. How's she doing?
Quite beautiful. I'm good.
Right. Well, what did you go there at this time of night?
Well, why would anyone go any place at any time of night?
You don't. Most people are sleeping.
Well, yes, but if you're not... No, bloody
And
hell, I was
kind
just
of get
trying
like
to
a
find a way
sly
home.
look on my face. Were you tapping her?
Bungdo just winks and walks away to eat his starfruit. I'm not saying I did.
No, I know. I just whistle and wow. And I'll just inner monologue say, I really gotta ask him how he does that. And I'll just walk back to camp.
Bungo died.
Bungdo is dead.
Too much excitement.
All right. Anyone else like to do anything? Apparently not.
Oh, give Bungdo his 50 platinum.
Hold on.
Smoke alarms.
I want to meditate for like 5 minutes before getting ready to sleep.
Okay.
Bungdo looks around after hearing just beeping and reaches in a pocket, pulls out a rock, and throws it across the field. And it turns out the rock itself is beeping.
Totally.
Christ. I'm gonna PM you, actually, Eric.
Okay.
I thought you said pee on you.
Eric, I would like to pee on
Suddenly,
you.
this D&D group just took a really weird turn.
That's a dex check. It'd be a dex save and maybe a dex check.
You think you can actually roll against the DM?
You could certainly try. Fairly certain his leg is just as peeable as anybody else's.
Certainly try.
With a giant leg coming down to the sky.
Oh. Yeah, we just had a battle. We had to have a little bit of fucking around.
Okay, so Bungdo pulls out coral. He has quite a bit of it. And he starts carving. Or not carving, but like fashioning it into a statue. What check would I do for that?
Let's call that a dex check.
Oh, Christ. Oh, wait, that's a
So that's a save.
And before nat 20. Damn close.
Pretty fucking close. All right.
Nice. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Bungo
so,
survives his carving.
He does. So, yeah, Bungdo is carving something. It may take a while to fully produce whatever it is he's working on, but he seems to have a pretty good idea what he's doing.
I'd like to put 2 of those gems in it. For the eyes.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, that's how Bungdo then spends a good portion of his evening. Anything else anyone would like to do?
After I'm done meditating, I'm just gonna sleep. I've had a long day. Rest is valuable.
Yeah, I guess I'll sleep too.
I sleep.
Okay.
I thought we already did that.
No, we had a battle, and then it was the night after the battle.
Yeah, well, I think there was some discussion of like, hanging out, whatever. Yeah, I mean, we left off that evening,
It
and I
worked.
thought you guys had kind of gotten through everything, but no, this is good.
Yeah.
So, as you all drift off to sleep and do gain the benefits of a long rest, you all wake up the next morning, well, bordering on afternoon. By the time you're all kind of coming to consciousness, a number of the soldiers have already packed up their tents and sort of prepared for the ensuing ride back to Iran. But you all seem to have slept pretty soundly through the commotion of what's left of an army packing up and preparing to ride. So as you wake up, you do notice that sitting next to Bungdo, where he's sleeping, is a coral carving of what looks to be a dragon with
There's
a
just
pair
little
of
statue?
with a pair of gems inlaid into it for eyes.
What color?
Which ones would Bungdo like to have used?
Do I have any yellow ones?
Sure.
I used 2
Amber.
yellow ones.
Or,
Well, they'd be spicy gems, not amber. But
no, what's that other
fine green emeralds.
Citrine?
parrot? Yeah, citrine.
I'll use emeralds.
Okay.
I want to Arcana check the statue.
All right. It's a statue.
Nothing arcane.
Not that you can tell.
I'm gonna use Mage Hand to gently pick it up.
Of course you would. Touching all my things.
Yep.
Anything happen when I pick it up?
It lifts up.
All right, I'll bring it towards me and inspect it.
All
I just
right.
want to kind of look at it closely.
It is a rather finely crafted small statue of a dragon.
So look to Maya and say, "Look at this. This thing's cool."
I walk. Do I see them take it?
I didn't take it. I'm just holding it there. I didn't.
You took it.
I didn't even touch it. Only me.
not you. I'm talking about Taylor. Did I see it get acquired?
Yeah, probably.
All right, I walk over and grab it, and then I walk over to Trogdor and give it to him.
What?
Excuse
this
me,
for?
No, I was just looking at it.
Well, you can ask him to look at it. I just wanted to give it to him before it got broken.
I look at him with this, "What the fuck, man?" look on my face.
Bungdo just kind of giggles as he walks over to Trogdor.
What is this for?
Well, you've been insanely generous lately. I thought you just kind of deserved something.
Wait, you made that?
I didn't really know what to do with the coral, and I was bored, so I made it.
You made that, Bungdo?
Yep.
Damn. I gotta give you props. That was really good. I thought you bought that for him.
Yeah, Bungdo doesn't buy things. He creates.
Okay.
Bungdo, an artiste.
My respect for Bungdo grew a little bit.
How big is this little coral statue?
It's like a pound.
It's like it could fit in one hand.
Probably, yeah.
For you, at least, yeah.
Easily, I would say.
Well, if it's a pound, I would say probably, about a 6-inch, 8-inch statue?
I don't know how heavy coral is.
Yeah, I don't know either.
All right.
I don't know. This is something I have no idea about.
Yeah.
Coral's pretty thick. like I've carried it. I've just
Thick or dense?
dense. Well, both.
Okay.
It's like lungs.
Okay.
Lungs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't realize that a lot of people just haven't seen this before in their life.
There's like a huge scientific study on how to weigh coral. I'm looking it up on my phone. this is intense. They've got like newtons and shit in here.
Newton is a unit of measurement.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's a statue. Sorry.
So what color coral is it?
Let's see. Where did you end up getting that coral from?
Was it when he was swimming in the ocean while we're on the boat?
Oh yeah, so that would have been along, the Phrygian coast. All right, so it's kind of a almost like orangish, kind of a pale orange color.
Pretty cool.
Could I like recon that and make it grayish,
Sure.
like a bluish gray? Not necessarily
That's easy enough to do.
colored, but like
But close enough.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll say Bungdo with his produce flame skills may have done a bit of creative burning and gotten things colored just so.
All right.
Artistic liberties.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
Bless you.
Going to keep it forever.
You should get it enchanted to be unbreakable, and then attach it to your shield. Or your helmet.
Does splint armor come with a helmet?
I'd imagine like an old style football helmet. He's just wearing that around all the time.
Fuck.
So what's the plan for today?
I'm gonna grab water. Hold on.
I don't know. We probably should go talk to Zahn, and I kind of wink at Bungdo and just say, yeah, some of us are a little more familiar with them than that, or with her than others. But I say we should go link up with her and go with them.
Sounds like a good idea. Did anyone ever go out and pick the battlefield for any more supplies?
No. Most of them were demons, so they would have taken whatever. I think that's how demons work. I don't know. I've heard stories of people killing demons and not getting anything out of it, so.
And from what you saw on the battlefield, the ones that fell just sort of began to dissipate.
Yeah.
I only picked a small portion of it.
Well, what'd you get? Was this part of it? And I'll hold up like that little baggie of gold he gave me, or platinum rather.
The platinum was from that king guy that was beheaded.
Oh. Damn.
Found a little bit of gold on the battlefield. Not a whole lot.
Oh. Well, I mean, we're probably doing okay for gold now. I just need to get some time to work on your shield.
Probably do that in, what was that town called?
Amon? Yeah, we can do that in Amon. And I have something that I don't think they've seen before here. I have the drawings of that projectile launcher.
I wonder whatever happened to that guy.
Well, I do believe you doomed him to death.
I am back.
But, we can hope he's okay. We can go check on him when we get back. Oh, we still have the whole cultist thing we gotta deal with. Yeah, we
Cultist
probably
thing?
should hurry.
What cultist thing?
Oh, right. It's a long ride. We'll explain along the way.
Okay.
Speaking of which, did anyone ever ask about where these demons came from, and maybe it could potentially be tied in with what we've been dealing with?
No, she said that he had been making dealings with demons. Or at least she had said that that was part of what they were doing.
Do we know what specific group of demons?
They were just demons. I didn't know there was specifics.
The one demon we were dealing with wasn't he Prince of Undeath or something like that? Orcus?
I don't actually know. I think I did some research on Orcus.
Yeah, I mean, I would say with your time that you spent researching, well, the various things that you covered with your friend at the library in Strassa, you'd probably have a good idea that Orcus is essentially a demon prince who more or less makes undeath and that sort of thing his focus or his realm.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe potentially tied in to what we were dealing with.
I doubt it, but I mean, I guess it wouldn't hurt to ask. Did you chop any remains? Did you get anything? So we have any idea of identifying them?
I have a demon dick.
Bungdo, we're not talking about your personal ailments.
Still have pieces of flesh from that Bodak we killed.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
Can always
Wait,
compare
you're one of those clerical types. Can't you talk to a dead person?
Me?
Yeah. You're godly.
I do not think I personally can out. I can. I'm sure we could find someone once we get them on.
Well, I was gonna say you could talk to the dead guy and ask him. Or, maybe we should go talk to Zan again. Find out a little more history.
You see an idea flash across Maya's face, and she starts looking through her pockets and pulls out the Orb of Sending.
Oh,
I wonder if this works.
huh. Well, we could only talk to, what's his name?
Yeah,
I'll find his name in a minute.
but I mean, he might be able to know something. And if we can talk to him from different places.
Naren. Yeah, we can try. You want me to try? Or do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I give it to Togar.
Okay. I will take it, and it's just the message spell, right?
It's the sending spell,
Or
which
sending,
is
yeah.
25 words or less to a creature. Well, in this case, to that specific person. Essentially, whoever holds the other stone.
Yeah. All right. I'll grab it and I'll say, found a portal. We're in somewhere else.
Found portal stuck in Narnia.
Hopefully this gets to you. Have you ever heard of Amon? Shit. Sorry. The hell are the king's name? Draxus?
Drassig.
Yes, or Drassig. And then that'll be, yeah, and that'll be it.
Okay. Alright, so you send the message out into the ether, wherever it needs to go to reach its intended target.
Yep.
And there is a pause. A long pause.
Kind of shake it and say, must have a poor connection.
Yeah, and you just kind of stand there waiting for a response. And eventually you get one. It's, well, naturally, due to the nature of your message, a bit confused. But what you are told is, let's see, let me make sure I answer everything that you got here. So, he says, I'm not familiar. Be safe.
Be safe, have fun.
Yeah, be safe, have fun. Yeah,
Don't leave the castle.
Be safe. You're needed here. That's it.
Like, we're
Okay.
needed everywhere.
I'll relay that message and say, yeah, the whole you're needed here. We should probably try to get back.
I mean, we're trying.
Yeah.
Bungdo does not seem to be. Maybe he has allergies or something from something here.
And Bungdo does have allergies here.
It's karma for Bungdo casting Blight on me.
There's too many do-gooders here. He's allergic to it.
Somebody cast Blight on Phil IRL. So let's go find Don and see when we can get going.
I mean, didn't the armies start leaving already?
Yeah, most of them are packed up by the time you guys kind of pull yourselves out of bed and prepare yourselves for the day. But seeing that, are you going to seek out Zan?
Yes.
All right. So, who all would like to go?
Me.
I'm gonna stay
Bungdo will
behind.
go too.
Okay.
I want to pack up.
Okay.
I'll pack up.
Okay. So,
It's nothing.
okay. So Bungdo and Togar head back into camp, and arriving at the area where the command tent had stood last night, you can see the last few pieces being kind of broken down and stowed away as Zan and a pair of elves kind of oversee the process, and they're just standing there sort of conversing, visibly planning, and well, just clearly preparing to embark. They don't seem to notice as you approach, as they seem to be in the midst of a conversation.
I'll kind of nudge Bungdo and say, "Well, you talk to her first. You know her better than I do."
Bungdo sighs and just kind of walks up, bringing Togar along. Hello again. This is my friend Togar, and we were honestly just hoping you could answer a few questions. If you have time. Looks like y'all are busy, but, perhaps a 5-minute break wouldn't do any harm.
Or we could just help her take it apart and talk.
That's true. Togar, get on it.
I summon Mage Hand,
And
flip
then
him off, and then use Mage Hand.
Bungdo starts cooking star fruit for everyone.
Okay.
I use Mage Hand to help me, but I do help starting to tear it down.
All right. Yeah, I mean, there's very little left to do at this point. It's nearly all packed up.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, so that's easy enough to handle. As Bungdo is preparing his star fruit and all that, Zan just kind of walks over and says,
As Bungdo dies.
yeah. So Zan walks over and says, so you had other questions or concerns?
Well, yes. I was wondering, this, Drasig, did his family work with demons or something? Because we were dealing with a group of cultists of some demon lord or something.
Charybdis.
No, Charybdis was the big worm. Orcus is the correct one.
You gonna say something?
Just lots of cultists.
Yeah, lots of cultists. All right, so Zan kind of thinks on it and says, "Well, I'm not sure what Trist Drasig's relation was with any otherworldly forces. Well, clearly there was some relation, but his older brother Neminar was quite involved with these things. He had been known to draw power from otherworldly sources and used a number of dark magics to empower his armies and even raise the dead to use as, well, unwilling servants."
Okay, so they do have a history of at least playing with the other side.
Yes, to say the least, yes.
Okay, well that's one worrisome thing off of the list. Next thing, you said this Aman that we're going to. Does it happen to have a forge I could use?
Oh, Iman is the largest city on this landmass, so yes, there are a number of forges that you could use.
Probably a forge in the camp.
Well, there's not much of anything in the camp.
I mean, there has to be a forge in the camp.
But the camp is packed.
Yeah, but it's going to take 2 weeks to get to the capital.
Anyway.
We will also be passing through a few other settlements on the way. So if you have urgent business to attend to, well, you are welcome to use our equipment. We're probably 4 days out of Westrun.
Oh. Who are some renowned armor makers? I myself am a fairly well-known armorsmith back in, back in Thogladar, our dwarven town. So I just would like to kind of sample their wares and see maybe if I can have anything to offer or to learn.
Well, there are a number of fine smiths to be found in Craghammer. As of late, I will say the one good thing to come of the human kingdom's relationship, or, well, the human kingdom's struggles under Drassig is the dwarves have actually been a bit more open with other people. They've established a number of regular trade caravans to Amon, and from what I hear, to a number of other settlements. So it's entirely possible you may be able to find some dwarven craftsmanship in some of the cities that we'll be passing through. Particularly, it may be worth looking in Western Kymel before, of course, we do reach Amon.
Okay. Would you be against us traveling with you just to make sure, nobody tries anything funny?
Of course not. You're welcome to travel with us and stay as long as you like. You did, after all, help us win this war.
It was nothing.
Say what you will, you did still help.
You said this place was unnamed, right?
As of now, yes, it's the former kingdom of Drassig. The elves have long called this place Quasar, but doesn't seem to really reflect the unified nature of what we've formed here. And so I think a new name is in order. I'm not sure what that will be just yet, but things are changing, and names must change to reflect that.
She's not an elf, right? She's just a human?
She is a human who has a distinctly elven kind of flair to her dress, and you gather there's at least some cultural influence there from the elves, if not genetic.
Okay. I'll say, well, the elves like it. I don't like that name. How about we name it after you? Your name's Zan, what was it?
Zan Teldore.
There you go, we can call it Zan Teldore. I mean, we've just been here for a very little time, but it appears you're the one that's been running this show. You're the one who's guided all of these people. The elves get the elven name they want. The proper person is recognized.
Well, I hardly think that is a decision that's up to me to make.
I know.
But I do truly appreciate the thought.
Well, yeah, I just figured I'd throw that out there that, it's how the dwarves do it. They're known as, known by their last name more than their first name.
Well, who knows? Suppose we'll find out what this place will be called as we're able to assemble some sort of government to restore order.
Yeah. Alright, I look at Bungdo. Do we have anything else?
No, not that I can think of.
Did you
I
see
didn't mean to use
Trogdor
that.
charging up and attacking somebody?
No, I didn't mean to do that.
Oh. I just see Divine Favor. I just see this glowing light come closer and closer, and it's just Trogdor running.
No, I was trying to unprepare the spell. I
Oh,
want something else.
By casting it.
yes. Damn it, get out of me! He's just waving his hand
Yeah.
and casting it.
It's like unloading a gun by firing it.
Yes!
I mean, it works.
Oh boy. I think that was all that we wanted to ask you.
Alright,
We
well,
shouldn't be encountering any dangers along the way, right?
well, surely nothing more dangerous than the army of a tyrant backed by demons and devils.
Well, but I mean, he wasn't allied with anybody else, right? We don't have to fear retaliation from another city or settlement or kingdom.
No, he had something of a working relationship with Craghammer, but they're no allies of his.
Craghammer. That sounds very dwarven.
It is very dwarven. It is the foremost dwarven settlement that, well, at least that has reached out to the people of the overworld.
It's settled, we're going there. At some point. But definitely Iman first. I just I would love to see how other dwarves live. Metals and such. It's a bit complicated.
Well, if that's all, I think it's about time to embark for Imam. We do have a long journey ahead of us, after all.
Okay. I'll run off and go grab the rest of the group and tell them all to come. We'll head off.
Okay.
Serious typing.
Yep. Okay. So, as everyone else has been tearing down, is there anything you would have liked to have been doing in the process? Okay.
Just tearing down.
Alright.
I want to get to know Lilith a bit.
That's like something.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at this.
You're not, or Maya's not?
Yes. Maya just kind of is like, "Hi, Lilith. How are you this morning?"
Well, hi, Lilith.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, she gets it. Yes.
Well, I got thrown to a different world where I don't know if my queen is, and I tried to find a mind flare and couldn't find it. And now we're gonna go travel in the sunlight. So, I'm not doing too well. How are you?
I pull out my yellow scarf and like, "Would this help?" It's a headscarf.
I pull up my my cowl over my head and say thank you, I'm good though.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what these people do. I just kind of have to go with the flow. So,
Your friends seem very impulsive.
yeah, I've learned that. I mean, I met them when they went to battle some cultists, so different cultists are fighting now. I feel like it shouldn't be normal.
I watched that. What do you say?
I feel like it shouldn't be normal to find this many cultists.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen as many cultists as you guys have.
It's like the first Dead Rising game. You just wake up in a box naked.
Like, how long have I been traveling with them? A month?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, it's okay.
Wow.
I only left my monastery like last month, and here I am.
Why'd you
Damn.
leave your monastery?
I felt like I needed to go out, that something was calling me, that there was an evil in the world that I need to change.
You cut out a lot. I think I got the gist of what you said, though.
Okay.
Did you find the evil? Did you destroy it?
There's so much evil that you can't destroy all. I'm trying to make a dent into it. No particular evil, just...
I suppose I'm the same way.
Maya just kind of nods.
Trogdor, Thuchian is typing.
What?
Is not. Is two.
What?
It tells you if someone's typing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess at this point I'll come in and just say, "Oh, guys, we're traveling with Zan, the leader.
Okay.
Okay.
Taldore. I'm just gonna call her by her last name. Her first name's too hard to say.
What's her first name? Is this just Zan?
I think? Or is it Zan?
He's a dwarf, he can't pronounce these names.
Taldore. That's easy.
Taldori.
Yes. Hopefully she'll let me call her that.
It doesn't seem like you need permission to do things that you do.
Yeah, but it's always better to ask first.
Alright, so you going?
Oh, yeah. I look over at Trogdor. Is he okay?
He just seems to be wrapped up in prayer. Eyes closed, kind of face cast down toward the ground. In something of a peaceful state.
So, should we disturb him? I've heard of people not wanting to disturb their pets while they sleep. Is this the same thing?
Their pets?
I walk up to Trogdor and gently tap him.
Maya's one of those people.
I open my eyes and look up.
Like that.
Yeah.
Be like, we're planning on leaving now if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Whenever everyone else is.
Okay. Yeah.
Guess I get up and follow behind anyone.
Alright, I'll lead him through back to Zan's tent. Or lack of tent.
Yeah, lack of tent at this point.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you kind of filter back through the remnants of the camp, you do find that she and a number of the ranking elven officials have all kind of made their way toward the front of the remainder of the army, and seem to be just about ready to go. As the last few people are kind of clearing out their campsites and packing away everything. They seem to be, again, just sort of discussing. You see them kind of charting out the route they intend to take. And before long, they bring the troops to bear and commence the march first south out of this valley in which the battle was fought. And yeah, so we're going to skip forward a little bit. 4 days pass.
Can I learn Gnomish?
You can.
In 4 days.
Yes.
Well, I'm teaching her as we go.
Teach me Gnomish.
But sure, I shall teach you Gnomish.
I want to learn too still.
I will teach everybody Gnomish.
Bungo makes toast.
I will aid Bungdo in making toast. I kind of want some toast too.
Everyone learns Gnomish while we make toast.
It sounds like a productive day to me.
There you go.
How much Gnomish do we learn in 4 days?
32 hours.
That's 108.
And if Lilith would like to learn Gnomish as well, she can join in too.
Yeah.
Okay. So 4 days pass, and you march with the troops south out of the dead-end valley that you found yourselves in, along the winding road.
Is that the Black Valley?
It is.
Okay.
And as you draw closer to, some actual semblance of civilization, you do eventually reach the kind of cusp of the Bramblewood, which Lilith is probably pretty grateful for, as it provides a bit of cover throughout the long days marching. At least the last day and a half or so probably spent in partial cover from the sunlight.
So that Lilith doesn't feel weird being like one of the few people covered. I'll wear my scarf.
I keep my hood up too. I don't really like the light that much either.
I bask in it.
As a lizard would.
Yeah.
The vine lizard.
Okay. Yeah, so you carry on, and it's pretty uneventful. Eventually, you kind of come to a portion of the road where it really, for the first time, truly begins to head west. And off in the distance, as you are rounding that corner, you can see the rather lofty walls of a settlement off in the distance. A few hours of travel later, you can see that this is, in fact, a pretty large city. Population, I guess, in the tens of thousands. And really, everything seems pretty peaceful about here, given the recent nature of things.
Are there lots of, like, men about? Able-bodied?
Maybe not as many as you, but there are farmers out working the fields. You see a number of look to be travelers or, well, possibly refugees. You're really not sure. Kind of camped out around the outer walls of the city. But there doesn't seem to be any a conflict or mounting violence or tension. Just, well, people seem to be here, living, and not concerning themselves with the potential need to defend themselves. And so it would seem that news of the events in the Black Valley has already begun to spread. But as you make your way up toward the gates of Westren and eventually inside, you find a kind of metropolitan sort of city. It's kind of at a crossroads, a very important trade route, as you note by the number of gates that can be found around the perimeter of the city. And so there's a pretty prominent market district and just kind of general trade area to this city, where you find a lot of the troops that you've been marching with tend to gravitate towards. Finally seeking out some creature comforts for the first time in probably several weeks, given that they've been, well, deployed from various parts of the former kingdom of Drassig. And as the group does enter the city, you are informed that you will be given about a day to rest, recuperate, enjoy some good warm food and comfortable beds if the opportunity presents itself. So, what would you guys like to do with your day in Westra?
How big of a town or city is this again?
Pretty big, like probably 20,000 people.
Okay.
I want to see if they're selling any
Any what?
star fruit.
My non-existent ears perk up.
Your tail lifts up.
Okay. So, looking around and kind of getting a feel for the various vendors about. There are a number of fruit stands. You do manage to find someone who's selling star fruit, though by no means in the quantities that you saw in Strassa. Definitely seems to be kind of a niche thing. And so, yeah, you're able to find, probably maybe 20 at assorted fruit and vegetable stands.
How much star fruit can I buy?
Well, if they're 3 copper each, how many can you buy?
A lot.
I mean, how many are available?
About 20.
I'm gonna buy all 20 of them.
Okay.
How much is that?
6 silver.
6 silver? Okay.
I want to ask around and find the best for blacksmith in town.
Okay. So as you kind of walk around and maybe stopping some folks who have some rather nice weapons hanging at their sides, or well-crafted armor or what have you. There are a few different names that come up, but the ones that you hear most often are Barnus and Cromdus. I suppose you may want those in chat. Huh?
Yes, if I could.
Barnus and Cromdus.
Okay. They're both blacksmiths in Westrun?
Yeah, and as you kind of talk to more people, you actually learn that these two are brothers who've relocated to Westrun from Craghammer. And
They're dwarves.
yes.
I'm going to see who's closer.
Let's see. You've kind of been all over Westrun. Let's see. I would say Cromdus is probably closer at this
I'm
point.
going to Cromdus.
All
I
right.
wanted to go see him anyway.
Okay. And as you make your way to the smithy of Cromdus, as you approach, you notice that the building in which it sits is crafted in a very familiar style. Seems as though he, or perhaps some dwarven associates of his, built the place from the ground up.
Very good stonework, all that.
Yeah, very meticulously done masonry and a number of like metal figureheads affixed to the front doors that kind of swing outward and open, so you can see kind of adorning the door as you walk in. There's like a dragon on one side, on the other, all made out of this kind of like dingy orange-looking metal. Probably some sort of alloy, though you're not entirely sure exactly what kind upon first inspection.
Is it so? It's not something that I recognize.
Not really. It's probably much like your Togarite, probably some custom blend.
I'm gonna test the pliability. Just reach out, touch it, feel it, all that stuff.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be aggressive. Just typically what you would do to metal piece.
Yeah. It certainly seems like it would make some pretty solid armor. I mean, it's not, I suppose, what you would call the perfect armor maker's alloy, but certainly serviceable. And you're not really able to gauge the weight of the metal. Everything you're dealing with is kind of, fixed to another surface on the building. But no, overall, it seems pretty nice. It seems to have been worked pretty well. Every piece that you see here has great attention to detail put into it.
Okay. I guess I'll look around the, just at the general shop. Just kind of see what wares here, see if I see anybody.
Yeah, it's not hard, as you do hear the heavy kind of thudding clang of hammer falling on some piece of metal back, toward the rear of the shop. You see a couple of people sort of, filtering through the shop, kind of eyeing some of the wares, and occasionally picking up a blade and kind of testing the balance and all of that fun stuff. Yeah, as you look toward the back of the shop, you do see a pretty sturdy, like muscular-looking like gray-haired dwarf, big bushy beard, kind of a bald spot in the middle of his head, but other than that, just wild curly hair. And he's just hunched over an anvil in the back. Just like you can see, he's just pouring sweat.
He's working his ass off. How's his
That
setup?
he is.
He's got a real nice anvil, real nice.
Oh yeah, everything looks very nice, very well maintained. Your kind of establishment.
Okay. Excuse me, sir. Just when you get a moment, no rush. I'm a blacksmith myself. I know. So, when you get to a point to stop, I would like a word with you.
All right. Yeah. As you're saying that, he kind of looks up for a second and gives you the nod and just a big brush of the forearm across his face, and he goes back to work for another couple minutes before eventually finding a good place to come to a rest. You see him just grab this large cut of cloth and just kind of just drag it across his face. And kind of ruffle his hair a little bit and just toss it off to one side. Still breathing heavily, kind of walks around.
Just out of curiosity, how was his form? Like when he was hammering the metal? Pretty good?
Pretty good, yeah. Solid.
I'll say, I will pull the cask out from my back and just say beer, and just summon some beer, and give it, basically give him a mug of ale, or a mug of beer.
Okay. And as you do that, you see his eyebrow kind of go up, oh, okay.
I'll take a glass for myself and say, nothing like having a nice beer after, working on some idea or project, eh?
That's for sure. And he takes the mug and just boop, 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 slams it.
Fill it back up and I'll say, well, I'm actually from a whole nother continent, I guess you could say. I really don't know where I am, but I just make it a hobby of mine anytime I go to a new city to check out their best blacksmith. I'm not the best ever myself by any means. I don't know, I always like to see how other people, take care of their business and such. But I actually happened to be here for a day and was admiring this dragon piece out here on... Was it affixed to the door, or is it on the wall?
Yeah, it's affixed to the door.
This dragon piece affixed to the door. I don't recognize the metal. It seemed quite sturdy and might be pretty nice, and I have a custom armor, armor piece that I made, but it's missing something. I'm missing some sort of strength to it. I'm kind of searching for a new alloy. Would you mind talking to me about that? And I can share my alloy with you.
He kind of raises an eyebrow and says, well, what sort of alloy do you have?
It's very lightweight. And I'll actually kind of offer my a part of my armor to show him. Say it's very strong, but it's, for whatever reason, with my design, it's a little, I wouldn't say brittle, but it does take some wear and tear. But for somebody like myself who prefers to be more nimble than just charge in, I wanted something just in case somebody gets a little too close.
And you see him kind of, take the piece and, kind of like grasp it and, attempt to kind of glean some details about it, testing, the malleability and everything best he can.
Basically the same
Without
thing I
any-
did to his dragon.
Yeah, really. He says, it's not bad. Not the best I've ever seen. It's not bad.
Of course. Like I said, there are a few flaws, but I'm always on the lookout to try to fix that. And I don't believe I actually told you my name. I'll reach out my hand and say Togar Hammerstriker of Thogladar.
Thogladar, you said you're from another continent?
I believe so. I've never heard of any place around here, so.
Well, can't say I've heard of the place, but pleasure to meet you.
You as well.
And I'm sure you've already heard, but my name is Crombus of the Hillhelm clan.
Hillhelm clan. Okay. And I understand you have a brother who also operates.
He kind of rolls his eyes and says, yes, he's here too.
Friendly rivalry, or is it actually bad?
Well, we didn't see eye to eye on business practices, but it is what it is. He's my brother, and I love him, if perhaps not like him so much.
I know exactly how you feel. I had a brother. We had similar interests, but he ended up always excelling. But it gave me more time to work on my armor and work on my my craft, my joy. Which brings me to my proposal. Being that I'm here for a day, I could aid you if you would like. In return, would I be able to possibly use, either an anvil or some form of smithy, just to work on strengthening my armor?
Yeah, I suppose that would be a fair trade. So, a day of work for, a day of work?
Essentially. Just more of a, rather than, I don't ever like to rent or anything. I'd rather lend a hand and, see where we can go from there. But, yeah. Not necessarily a full day, but...
Fair enough.
If you also would like, I could share my alloy with you, and if you want, we could exchange. Give us
Right.
being that we're separate continents, it's not... You're probably never going to end up seeing me again once I get back to my own realm, so you'd be the only one on this realm with Togarite.
Yeah, he seems to like that idea.
Yeah.
But for the sake of brevity, we'll say
Yes.
he's pretty amenable to this offer.
Yep.
And so you help him, he lets you do what you want to do, and so how much time do you want to spend working and then spend actually doing your project?
I'll do 4 and 4 here, 4 and 4 for the most part, but I will help him out if he needs it.
Okay.
Just kind
Fair
of
enough.
work on both at the same time.
All right. Cool. What's everybody else doing?
for a library.
I will go
Oh.
with Maya.
Okay. Well, a
Lilith-
library you find. But go on. What's Lilith doing?
Lilith is just trying to pray to the Raven Queen to, like, she can still be in contact with her.
Okay. Well, this is probably the easier of the two to address, as Lilith attempts to sort of commune with the Raven Queen and establish a connection, or at least reaffirm that there is something. Yeah, almost immediately you do feel a connection, and you feel the presence of the Raven Queen, just as it had been back in your homeworld. And she just sort of, you see the kind of image of her in your mind's eye, the porcelain mask and the dark, kind of shrouded form behind it. And it just seems to kind of hover there in your mind's eye. But should you have any questions or concerns, she does seem, well, available to help.
Okay. She will follow Maya to the library.
Okay.
While they're going to the library, I want to find a guard to see if there's a temple.
Okay.
You can go after them, though.
All right. So, as the three of you then go and inquire about a library or something to that effect, you are eventually directed to the Scholar Ward. It's essentially about a quarter of the city that is entirely devoted to a large, sprawling facility known as the Cobalt Reserve. And from what you gather, it is the single largest library and general repository of information on this whole landmass.
Ooh.
So, as you make your way into the Scholar Ward, you see a number of individuals that wear a very similar garb to what Maya is wearing right now. Seems as though there's some sort of monastic discipline intertwined with this Cobalt Reserve. And one of them, upon seeing you, kind of looking around, maybe a bit cluelessly, just approaches and says, "Hello, is there something I could help you with?"
We were, I was hoping to find a book or books on the monastic tradition of this continent.
Well, you've certainly come to the right place. Where are you from?
Not here, that's for certain.
Not here.
Called?
What's the kingdom?
What's the continent?
Akiria.
Akiria. I'm from the continent Akiria.
There is no recognition in that look, but he sort of nods and says, "Well, welcome to the Cobalt Reserve, welcome to Western, and I will do my best to help you find the information that you're looking."
Thank you.
And he then kind of turns to the other two and are you simply accompanying her, or did you have your own inquiries you'd like to make?
I try to think of something to look for. I couldn't.
Fair enough.
I'm just gonna follow Maya around.
Okay. And Bungda?
I look for a book on poisons.
Okay.
Actually, sorry, not poisons. The history of this continent. Just any sort of history book I can find.
Okay.
Yeah, that could be useful.
It could be. All right. So, the three of you. Oh, who did we lose and then gain?
Roll call.
I think
Hello.
Laura?
Hello.
Oh,
It was
Ralph?
me.
Oh, it was
Okay.
My Discord messed up and I had to leave and join.
Ah.
Okay. So yeah, the three of you are led into a large stone structure, one of many that you can see kind of dotting this district. Inside, you see an expansive stone chamber with shelves inset into the walls, seemingly all carved out of stone, housing just thousands upon thousands of books and tube scrolls, and there are a number of cases kind of scattered around the floor section of this building, displaying all sorts of written works, and you can see some maps and atlases and things of that sort under glass for passersby to see. But as the monk who had kind of engaged with the three of you leads you around the perimeter of the building, or the perimeter of the shelving, I should say. He just sort of casually kind of traces one line of books with his finger and pulls out a pair of rather thick volumes, hands the two of them over to Maya, and then continuing on, almost as though this is a book that he has regularly referred back to, just beeline right around the corner and grabs this book, probably about 9 inches thick. Takes
Jesus.
two hands. Yeah, takes two hands, drags it back off of the shelf, and kind of holds it out to Bungdo. And this will answer your questions.
Bungdo's eyes are just fucking wide and like beaming at the font of information in front of him.
I
excitedly
grab it,
grabs-
carrot to carry it for Bungdo, because I'm sure the book's like is half the size of him.
Probably.
Probably bigger than he is.
I just think of Bungdo, like this episode in SpongeBob where they saw the map and their eyes stick to the paper. Just like ogling it.
His eyes are just like slapping up against it. Scanning it, yeah.
I'm sure we can find a table more.
Yeah.
And I try to gently put down the book as possible, but it still goes boof.
Okay. So, specifically, what's Maya looking for? She's kind of pouring.
She wants to see if she can find her counterparts in this country. Or in this continent.
Okay, so something along the lines of your monastery of the Iron Hand.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and let's call that an intelligence check to parse through this wealth of info that you're looking at.
Oh.
It's a bit overwhelming, really. Having to refer to all of these landmarks that you don't really even have any any concept of. You haven't even seen a single coast of this place yet, and so it's very difficult to place yourself in the grand scheme of the known world here. Let's see. I mean, you'd probably at least be able to glean that, well, there is, of course, a monastic order here in Westron, centered at the Cobalt Reserve, known as the Way of the Cobalt Soul. And you'd probably also notice that there are some similarly named disciplines to those that you'd be familiar with, but all these location names are kind of starting to run together, and it's hard to conceptualize where any of these monasteries might be.
I'm gonna sigh heavily. Give up.
Okay. Let's hop over to Bungdo. So, are you just trying to info dump, or are you specifically
Yep.
looking for something in history? Just info dump?
Info dump, but also trying to find like anything that can pinpoint factually where we are or when we are. Any like reference to anything that I already know from the other dimension or whatever it is.
Okay.
Can I lean over to Bungdo and ask if he sees anything? Was it the Grey Mage? That's who we were looking for, right?
Yes? Bungdo can look. Bungdo will look.
Okay. So Bungdo, go ahead and make an intelligence check of your own.
Oh ho ho ho. Watch it
That
fucking
one,
fail.
Oh!
All right. Not bad.
I'm smart cookie.
I'm not.
All right.
I mean, I have
Oh.
+7. Or no, I don't. That's
You have
+7 to
+4.
certain rolls because of it.
Yeah.
You're street smart, not book smart. Yeah, you were street
I
smart.
have
not book smart.
wisdom.
Yeah, street smart, not book smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Not for lack of trying.
No.
All right. So Bungdo, you essentially get a crash course in the history that is commonly accepted as the origin story of Exandria, which is the world that you're which more or less consists of a few distinct periods. So there is the founding, which is the period kind of at the beginning of the world as mortals know it. The transition from kind of just a tumultuous, chaotic mess into livable places, into planets and stars and things of that sort. The gods crafted everything in these realms that the mortal races now dwell in and can refer to today. As the world kind of began to take shape, there were a number of kind of struggles and conflicts throughout different factions of divine entities, deities, demigods, that sort of thing. The primordials, as they were known, the kind of raw elemental forces of the world, were very much opposed to being harnessed and shaped in the way that the gods sought to do. And so there was actually a great war that broke out between the forces of nature and the, what mortals now call deities. Eventually, though, the world was tamed and molded into what you see today. As time rolled on and regular intervention on the part of the gods became less regular, not something that anyone currently living would have seen, the known world progressed to something known as the Age of Arcanum, which was essentially kind of an intellectual awakening. The Exandrian equivalent of a humanist movement. So people beginning to believe, well, what have the gods done for me, really? I mean, I know what I have. I know the massive power of the human or elven or dwarven mind. And with the power of magic that we have access to, we can accomplish just about anything. And so mortals grew to be a bit self-righteous.
Cocky?
Yeah, probably a good way to put it. To a point that a number of them began playing with things that, shall we say, a lot of people would think better of playing with. Mortality.
I'm just thinking about, like, people that are, like, racist, that they're so sure that they're right, they're not gonna think about it any different or care.
Yeah. As one mortal mage in the Age of Arcanum actually did manage to transcend mortality and
Really?
displace the reigning god of death, others began to get ideas and grow inspired by what they seen or heard of this. And driven by this,
Bungdo is reading this.
yeah.
Good. Does it state names?
Well, the name of the mage who ascended to godhood is lost or struck from history. But one of the mages that attempted to follow in her footsteps is remembered by name. That
Did
name
he-
being...
Did he fail?
She. Or,
Well,
Well,
there are different ones. So the she is the one who actually did ascend to God.
I mean, I just want to know the name of the one that was successful.
That is nowhere to be found.
Damn.
I feel like he was gonna tell you something.
All you know is that she became the god of death. So there's that.
I want to meet her so I can tell her not today.
Yeah, so inspired by that, a number of other mages, including one by the name of Vespin Chloris, they sought other ways of ascending to godhood or godlike status. One of them getting the idea to tap into powers of what were known as the banished god or the betrayer god, which ultimately resulted in the opening of gates to their prisons, the hell, the abyss, all the dark places that regular folk have nightmares about, really. As this happened, the hells, the abyss, and all these other foul realms began to create a sort of incursion onto the prime material plane. And so as the betrayer gods and their spawn began to fight their way back into this plane of existence, the existing deities had no choice but to intervene once again, making themselves known and visible to mortals. The result of this was a massive war, the likes of which has never been seen again, where entire cities were reduced to rubble in a matter of a few hours. And
Ooh.
eventually, the deities of the prime material did prevail, but not before nearly every mortal settlement had been burned or crumbled to the ground. In fact, according to the stories, only one city actually managed to survive this entire ordeal.
Amon?
Hmm?
Amon?
No.
Vasselheim?
Vasselheim.
Bungdo wants to go there.
Bungdo wants to go everywhere.
Bungo's like
I've been everywhere.
Bungo's like the dog. He just wants to go everywhere. He just likes going.
Splashes in puddles.
Yep. He's done it.
Indeed, I have.
So, as that conflict came to an end, that conflict being referred to in the history books as the Calamity, the gods once again removed themselves from regular influence, though not this time by choice so much as by necessity, having to forcefully drag the betrayer gods out of the prime material and then throwing up a gate of sorts behind them, dividing the prime material from both direct influence by the prime deities, as they came to be known, and the betrayer god. So, as things stand, no gods are capable of manifesting directly in this world of Exandria, but they act through those who represent them, those who serve them. Beyond that, you read about the founding of the first Elven kingdoms, probably not more than 800 years ago, and how they were sort of the first civilization to reestablish on this landmass. Over the last few hundred years, you've had the elves growing in the south. You've had the dwarves settling once again in the mountains to the north in Craghammer. and very concerned dogs and stuff. Um, um, I think I might need to take a break. So I guess I will be back in a few minutes. Because this isn't going to stop.
Went to the bathroom 3.5 hours ago.